All righty. Kim, can you cut the music? Thank you. I am Lion Suzette Logan, Director of Resource Development, and this is the National Provider Network, sponsored by Family to Family, the Illinois chapter of the Federation for Children's Mental Health. At the National Provider Network, we strive to bridge the gap between people and resources, bringing together organizations, schools, and agencies to support the community, local and national. We are a professional network aimed at breaking down and erasing barriers to education, health, physical and mental, and supporting economic stability for youth and their families. Locally, the National Provider Network represents youth and their families in the townships of Bloom, Bremen, Rich, and Thornton. Each month, the National Provider Network works towards the goal of increasing access to educational and mental health support by highlighting innovative services, programs that represent the community, and presenters who address mental health, educational services, along with economic development. So we are going to get this party started. Get comfortable, get your coffee, get your tea, get your water, and I will call on people to introduce themselves and say a bit about where they're from. Then I will introduce our dynamic presenter today. So just remember, we're only here for an hour. And so if you have questions, please save it to the end of the presentation, or you could put your questions in the chat box. And then once that's done, then our fearless leader and executive director, Kimberly Haynes, will talk about some announcements. So we're going to get this party started. And the first person I'd like to call on is Maureen Hall. Maureen.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Maureen Hall. As Suzette said, I am the owner of Premier Treatment and Counseling Services. We offer outpatient substance use treatment to adolescents and adolescents beginning at age 13 years old. Also provides DUI services and anger management.
Well, thank you. And thank you for joining us, Maureen. She is one of our supporters, and she's one of our people that work in conjunction with this organization. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Ariel Donovan. Ariel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ariel Donegan. I work with him as the Director of Membership and Marketing, but I also work for Northwestern University on the Spider team. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, baby. Next up, we have Lapita Brown. Lapita or Lupita. Am I saying it right? Lupita. Okay, we're going to come back to Lupita. Kathleen McGowan.
Hey, everybody. I am the outreach coordinator for the Cook County Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and I work through the state's attorney's office. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome, my darling. Next up, we have Tanya Brown. Tanya, are you related to Lapita?
I am not, but good morning.
Okay, good morning, darling. And where are you from?
My name is Tanya Brown, of course, and I'm from Lara Vida Children's Advocacy Center. We're located in Park Forest Police Department. I am a forensic interviewer and an outreach training specialist, where we go into the schools to train staff, parents, children on prevention against child abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, neglect, all of those things. So we just got a grant. I just want to throw that out there, where we can come out into the schools, into the community, where we can educate everybody on human trafficking, which is a large piece of what we're doing as well. So thank you guys for even having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know what? Put your information in the chat box and we will be in touch. The National Provider Network will be in touch.
I sure will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so next, so Lapita.
Yes.
Okay, am I saying it right, girl? Get me straight now.
Lupita Brown. Yes.
Okay, Lupita Brown. Well, welcome. And where are you from?
Hey, sorry, my mouse is not working properly. I cannot get to anything easily this morning, but I am with University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. We contract with DCFS as a training partner for various DCFS staff on various child welfare curriculum. So just I pop in occasionally. So good to be with you guys today. Looking forward to the Juneteenth information.
Well, welcome, my darling. We are so happy to have you with us. And then just put your information in the chat box so we will know. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Deanna Hall. Deanna.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Deanna Hall. I am the CEO and founder of Peaceful Minds Enterprises, which is a non-for-profit organization that aims to strengthen communities by providing accessible mental health supports and resources. We offer individual therapy, family therapy, group therapy. We also do workshops for parenting groups, anger management, grief counseling. We're just trying to make sure that the emotional support is available in our communities. So that's all.
Well, thank you. And welcome. Next up,
Thank
we
you.
have, you're welcome. Next up, we have Kelly Tovermina. Tovermina. Am I saying it right, Kelly?
You're close. It's Tavermina.
Tavermina. Okay. All right.
You're close. You're close.
Okay.
I know it's a little intimidating.
That's okay. That's all good.
I went from Burke to Tavermina, so I'm with you.
Okay.
I am the nurse supervisor of the Nurse Family Partnership Program at Metropolitan Family Services. We service low-income, first-time pregnant persons and see them in their homes until their baby turns 2. And I'm glad to be here this morning.
Welcome. I missed you, and I'm glad you're here.
I'm back.
Thank you. Next up, we have Faith Hawkins. Hey, Faith. Faith.
Good morning. How are you, everybody?
Good morning.
I'm Faith Hawkins. I work with Book Family Advocacy Center located in South Holland. We provide general counseling, parenting, parent coaching, just about anything, anger management, domestic violence counseling. So anybody who has anybody that needs to get services, feel free to send them over.
Well, thank you, Faith. And tell the bishop we say, hey.
I sure will.
Okay. Next up, we have my brother, James McComb. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Suzette. Good morning, everyone. My name is James McCombs. I'm a SNAP-Ed educator with the University of Illinois Extension. I would promote healthy eating and physical activity through direct education as well as environmental changes. Thank you.
Well, thank you and welcome. Next up, we have Kristen Hadley. Kristen?
Hi, Suzette and everybody. My name is Kristen Hadley. I'm the founder and CEO of Element of CP and ADHD networking group. I'm also over the disability advocacy department of Family to Family, and I'm a cyber lion also.
Well, welcome, Kristen.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome, my pudding. Next up, we have Kelly Jones.
Good morning. Good to see you all virtually. I'm Kelly Jones. I'm a health educator senior with Cook County Health Department, working in community engagement and health education. And I think that's my cousin, Deanna Hall. I did not know you had that agency. So look at Suzette bringing families together.
Oh my God, that's your cousin?
That is my cousin. That is my cousin. I'm looking at the name. I'm like, is that Deanna? Yes. I can't see any faces though, but yes, that is my cousin. So glad.
All right. Well, you know what? Did you listen to what I said? When we bring people together.
You sure do. You sure do. I'm a testament. And it looks like from my chat, I can only send direct messages to the organizers. I can't put my information in general to everyone.
Okay, so maybe I think you can send it to Kimberly and then Kimberly will pass it on. So send it direct and then Kimberly will send it out. out.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Welcome, my darling. All right. Next up, we have Jaleel Poole visiting from New York.
How you doing? My name is Jaleel Poole. I'm a recent graduate of the Columbia University Mellon School of Public Health. I have my master's of public health and epidemiology, specifically social epidemiology, and I'm still looking for jobs. So if y'all know anybody that's hiring in the field of health data science or quantitative public health, let me know.
Thank you, Jaleel. Full disclosure, this is my godson. Can you tell how proud of him I am graduating from Columbia University? So he is here briefly visiting. He's going back to New York, but he's, oh, look at Lapita. Yeah, she's clapping. But he's looking for a job, so we're trying to get him back to Chicago and get him home. But I'm glad that he could jump on. All right, and next up we have April Tolbert. Hey, April.
Hey, good morning, Suzette. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good morning, Suzette, and to everyone. April Tolbert, Cook County Department of Public Health. I serve alongside my wonderful colleague, Kelly Jones, in our Community Engagement and Health Education Unit. Happy to be here, and shout out to Jaleel for being a data guy. We know that data drives our strategies in the
Yes.
health department and in community, so very happy to have a young, bright person join the public health fields, and good luck and kudos to you, Jaleel, in your future endeavors.
Thank you, April. Appreciate it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so next up we have Kimberly Hayes, who is the Executive Director of the National of the Family to Family and the CEO of National Provider Network. She's off camera right now because she's working in the back. Kim, you could just say hey.
Good morning, everyone. I am so happy that everybody's here. And I dropped the link in the chat box for you guys to add your agency information.
Thank you, Kim. So she's like the technical person back there because full disclosure, I know nothing about that. But anyway. And then the last person that I want to introduce is, well, we have Mike Rudolph with River Edge Hospital, and he's doing double duty, he's multitasking. But on his computer is Miss Marjorie Adam Clark, who is our presenter today. So Marjorie, I'm just going to talk a little bit about you, and then you can jump in and take it from there, baby, okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, so Marjorie Adam Clark is an educator whose passion for positive change knows no bounds. She is a thought leader, producer, solution activist, speaker, and founder of the Juneteenth Traveling Museum and founding member of the West Communities Juneteenth Collaborative. And right after she gets off from us, she'll be doing a presentation at River Edge Hospital with the Traveling Museum. So Marjorie isn't just satisfied with merely recognizing the obstacles we face throughout the history of today. Instead, she's committed to a proactive approach to redefine our understanding of these issues so that together we can build a better future for all. There she is. For her, Juneteenth isn't just a holiday, it's a call to action. Through her innovative approach to celebration, education, and promoting health and wellness, Marjorie is transforming Juneteenth from a mere holiday into a catalyst for social transformation. Residing in the western suburbs, Marjorie has led many of the Juneteenth initiatives in the Forest Park and Proviso Township for nearly 5 years. So we would just like to say thank you, welcome Marjorie, and take it away, baby.
Thank you. I first would like to thank you, Suzette, my sister from another mother. Thank you so much, sister, virtual hugs. And I would also like to thank Kim Kim, you are amazing. You are a little bit sharper than even the sharpest knife, okay? You have saved me this morning. We were having some technical issues, and I just want to honor these amazing women, these solutionists. And I think in this hour, we need women and men to rise up to be about the solution and not rehashing the problem. And so that is one of the reasons why we at West Communities Juneteenth Collaborative look at Juneteenth as more than just a holiday. It really is an opportunity for all of us to reflect, to re-examine how we're thinking about how we're thinking. I believe that anti-Black racism or otherizing of any sort has a lot to do with the collective and how we are contributing to that. And so I like to share stories. Stories are important because they remind us of our shared humanity. So anytime you want to take it away, Kim, I'd be so happy to pull up those slides. So thank you so much. As I said before, I'm excited to be here with National Provider Network and all of you stakeholders that are a participant in this organizations, because I know that we're all doing work to make our communities better. And of course, as we recognize or know, Juneteenth became a national holiday June 17th, 2021, and it actually became a state holiday a day before. It's important for us to realize that without us actually embracing and celebrating a day of freedom, we're not necessarily acknowledging the full body or the full breadth of our history. And we see it at play, and we see it in action in our political discourse, in our social discourse. And so ultimately, we're still having the challenge of seeing Black people as in the state of, as my slide says, absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. We are still working out this absolute equality of personal rights, and we're seeing it at play here right now today, especially after George Floyd. So let's go on to the next slide, please. When we look at Google, oftentimes General Granger is kind of the focal point. He came to Texas, Galveston, Texas, to issue General Order Number 3. What people don't realize is that there were at least 6,000 to 12,000 Union troops that descended upon Galveston, Texas in that week of Juneteenth. As many as 3,000 African-American soldiers descended in Galveston, and they were there on June 19th to help liberate the enslaved that were down there. And just think about that. As an enslaved person who's never maybe slept in a bed, who never had a toothbrush, to see people that look like them, men that look like them, dressed in a uniform, that had to be an amazing sight, with a gun enforcing the liberty of these people. So I always want to remind us that Black men, Black women were always at the forefront of their agency, or at the forefront of their fight for equality. It's important to share the story of our African-American soldiers who, by and large, were responsible for us remaining a union. Without the Black man soldier, trust me, we would not have won the war. And oftentimes we're not honoring the full breadth of the communities, the swaths of people groups that have helped make this country the great country that it is, including Black people. And then, of course, I want to highlight William Cosley, because in the next slide, I'm going to share the story of his mother. So if you don't mind moving on to the next slide. So Nance Leggings Cosley is a historical figure that we really don't know about. And here in Illinois, if it weren't for her tenacity, her grit, her focus, her doggedness that her children would not grow up enslaved, Illinois might have looked a little bit different. And so I want to allow you to take a moment to read this particular slide, and then just someone let me know when they're done, and then I will fill in the blanks.
Okay, Marjorie.
Okay. So just think about that. Nance Leggins Costley was born an indentured servant. Oftentimes we think of Illinois as the land of the free, but it actually operated as a quasi-slavery state. If you look at the state itself, quite a bit of it is Southern. So a lot of those Southern attitudes were adopted in Illinois legislation early on. Although it was part of the Northwest Territory, and I'm going into the weeds. I can never remember if that's part of the Northwest Territory, and to be part of the Northwest Territory, you had to
I'm sorry, Marjorie, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I did. I did. I realized I was muted. So according to, I'm not sure where y'all, let me back up a little bit. Illinois was operated as a quasi-slavery state, which meant that, for example, if you decided to give your personhood, because indentured servant meant that you would give your personhood in exchange for shelter, in exchange for room and board, or in exchange for something, right? Or it could have been being an apprentice. Well, for a white person, that indentured servitude usually lasted about 7 years. For a Black person, that indentured servitude lasted 99 years. So in effect, it operated as slavery, even though legislatively, Illinois was saying that it was a free state. That was where it was headed. So there was a lot of consternation around abolition, around indentured servanthood and servitude and slavery. So Nance Leggins Costley, she found herself as a child as a domestic at a hotel called Hotel Columbia. And Hotel Columbia was located in a town called Vandalia, Illinois. And at the time, Vandalia, Illinois was the state capital. Across the street from this particular hotel was the courthouse where all of the legislation that was important in Illinois was happening. So you had your judges, your senators, your business leaders, all of your legislators were coming to this courthouse, and they were having important conversation. And then they were coming across the street to Hotel Columbia to have even more important conversation around meals, and their lodging was there. And what they didn't realize, that this little girl who was 7 years old and 8 years old and 9 years old and 10 years old was listening. Although she was illiterate, although she couldn't read and write, she was listening to the conversations that these men were having. And so by the time she was 13 years old, she realized, I didn't sign anything, so I'm gonna put out a lawsuit. And so she put out a lawsuit out against the people that had her at that time, and said that she was, as the slide says, she declared that she was not, that she was being detained involuntarily. And so for that, she was beat. She was auctioned off to a gentleman by the name of Nathan Cromwell. Nathan Cromwell has her for about 10 years. And during that time, she sort of marries. She has 2 children. She's pregnant at the time, by the time she's 23, with her third child, which would be William Costley at the time. And he decides to lease her to a gentleman by the name of David Bailey. David Bailey was an abolitionist at heart. And so in the course of time, as they're negotiating for her to go to his services, Nathan Cromwell passes away. He passes away without a will. and his wife who was already deceased. So this is what, so Nance, she says, I'm free. She declares herself free again. And she tells David Bailey, you must now pay me because I never signed any papers. Now, I want y'all to think about the kind of courage, tenacity, patience, grit, foresight, insight that it took for her, fortitude that it took for her to do that. I just want us to pause, because that's what it takes. It takes all of us, normal people, saying yes to an extraordinary circumstance. Yes. So by the time she's 23, she declares herself free. David Bailey, he's an abolitionist. Nathan Cromwell's estate is trying to sue her so that she goes back into that chattel as being part of his estate. David Bailey reconnects her to Abraham Lincoln, and he takes on her case. And so, of course, by the time it's 1841, she finally wins her freedom. And so she becomes actually the first African-American freed under Abraham Lincoln, 20 years before he becomes president rather. And then her son, he grows up to become one of the Union soldiers that goes down to Galveston, Texas, and he is on June 19th helping to liberate the enslaved that were down in Texas. I just love that story.
Yes, look at God.
I just love that story because it's the power of personal self-agency. So I love to share that story. Sorry, I get excited. So go on to the next slide, please. So without her agency, without her tenacity, without her wisdom, her innate wisdom, and her fight and her drive, Illinois would have looked differently, because her case actually set the precedent to abolish slavery for good in Illinois and to abolish the practice of indentured servanthood in Illinois. And it set the stage for abolition. And so Illinois became the first state to ratify the 13th Amendment, which it did February 1st, 1865. You can go on to the next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. And of course, there is backlash. And backlash, like, at the Reconstruction time, Black towns are just burnt down or they're flooded. There's Jim Crow, there's the Black codes, there's all sorts of retaliation or backlash because of anti-Black racism, quite frankly. Then, of course, you have civil rights, we have the same thing. And now after George Floyd, we kind of thought that there might have been a reckoning, but we are still in the middle of a backlash. And so how do we deal with all of these heightened emotions, these pent-up fears? Can we go on to the next slide, please? What I'm excited about, which makes us different as well, West Communities Juneteenth Collaborative, is that we've partnered with an organization called Race Conscious Dialogues, who believes that Juneteenth can help us realize the aspirational values that founded our country. And so Juneteenth is about centering and honoring Black culture, normalizing Black bodies, Black spaces, Black traditions, recognizing the manifest truth of Black self-agency and self-determination. Centering Black culture represents growth. Centering Black culture represents growth, not loss for white people. True growth requires discomfort. And so we understand that in business. Business will tell you fail fast, get uncomfortable, be comfortable with uncertainty. And yet in our social constructs, we have, a lot of consternation around race. and gender and other of all kinds. And so we partnered with Race Conscious Dialogues, where white folks can have those conversations and Black folks and any folk. I practice peace circles, and I find that they are very effective and very powerful, because when we're doing this kind of work, when we're in the front end of social justice, sometimes it gets difficult and sometimes we get tired. And so being able to partner and be in a space without judgment, for reflection, for really a place to think about how we're thinking, so that we can disentangle ourselves from the practice of racism, because racism or white supremacy or whatever we want to call it, it's a system. And it's in a system that we inherited. And that system is fueled by people. Without people, the system could not be. And so I'm excited and I'm encouraged that as a people, as Americans, we get to choose what kind of world we want to live in and what kind of America we want to leave for our children. So thank you. Oh, I have 2 more slides, and I'd like to share those as well. So of course, Juneteenth is not Juneteenth without the food. And there's all kinds of legends and stories about why we eat red food. We coalesce around that red is the symbol of sacrifice, is the symbol of blood, transition, and power. As you can read here on our slides, we have foods that represent hope, that represent prosperity, and barbecue is about bringing community and people together. It's, to me, difficult to be mad at somebody when you're around a good barbecue. So next slide.
Yep.
And I'd like to highlight our leaders in Illinois. And I know we have some people that are not in this state, but particularly our Congressman Danny Davis. Danny Davis was on this journey to make Juneteenth a federal holiday for over 30 years. Danny Davis he partnered with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Ronald Myers, and he too was a pioneer to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. And his mindset was that there has to be a place where there's a commemoration, there's a Thanksgiving, if you will, of the end of slavery, that is a powerful thing that this country can do to acknowledge that the arc is bending closer to justice. And so I wanted to highlight those people, as well as Senator Kimberly Lightford, who made Juneteenth a state holiday here in Illinois, and for her efforts, and Illinois Representative LaShawn Ford. So these people, I always like to end with this, is that it takes micro revolutionaries. It takes micro advocates. It's not necessarily the people at the top, but it is us, the tapestry. We're not small. There's nobody small in this, but it's those folks that we want to call unsung heroes that we really need to thank God for. If you believe in God, for me it's Jesus. But we really need to be grateful for these people, for their courage, because we really truly stand on their shoulders. And I'd like to end it there. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Oh my God, Marjorie, that was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so I see some hands. Jaleel, you have a question? Take yourself up. Okay.
That was the clapping part, but I kind of do have a question now, since I'm on the mic.
Okay.
But I wonder where in this conversation reparations falls. I'm just like, I think everything you said was excellent. I think to even push the envelope even further, that not just in commemoration of Juneteenth, but for everything that Black people have experienced, that we should also be talking more about reparations and what the U.S. government and what every other organization or institution that's ever harmed Black people can do to reconcile for that. And so I also think Juneteenth creates that space as well to talk about
Absolutely.
reparations financially, but also what we all do, which is health, which I think are intertwined with financial reparations, but also for me, in my thought process, might be a different set of reparations that are related to improving the health of Black people. Because as we know, Black health disparities are persistent and just widening across the spectrum.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Now you see why I'm so proud of him.
Yes, thank you for that. So I am not opposed to reparations. I think that it's important. It's an important conversation to have. I also think that when I look at our ancestors, they were about self-agency as well. And what does that mean? Is that little girl did not wait for anybody to give her nothing. She took it.
Yeah.
And that's where that is really she and she didn't have excuses for herself. Okay, she didn't say I'm illiterate, so I can't understand. She listened, she learned, and she used her wits and her God-given wisdom. And self-agency is definitely the theme when I read the stories of these people that came before us. So I do agree with that, but I also give a strong shout out to the power of self-agency. I will leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Before anybody else, if you have any questions, I'd just like to acknowledge someone else who has joined our Zoom party. Her name is Sol Ennis. Sol, you want to introduce yourself and say where you're from?
Sure. Sorry about being late. My name is Saul. I am from the Envision Unlimited Living Room Program. I am the assistant director. We are located in Flossmoor. And I met Suzette Logan over at the Minds in Motion Mental Health Fair. I believe it was in May.
Right.
And so I'm really happy to be here. And I'm here to appreciate and contribute.
Thank you,
Thank
Sol.
you.
And I hope, I know you joined in a little bit late, but I hope that you heard some of this wonderful presentation. So, because Marjorie, it was excellent. Trust me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? If not, then I'm going to turn it over to Kimberly because I think Kimberly has some announcements that she wants to provide.
Yes. Let me technical support my own self now.
Okay, yeah, do that.
I just had a couple of announcements that I wanted to share with everyone. And let's see here. I know that I love that everybody's wanting to share their information, and we definitely want to share your information. As so many people have acknowledged, you will either see Suzette or myself in a lot of different spaces. And so we want to make sure that as people are asking us about the various resources, that we can make sure you guys are getting connected. So I have a QR code on the screen if you want to go ahead and take a snapshot of that and add your agency information. We are also constantly updating our website. That's www.familycope.org. I would also ask that you follow us on Facebook, like and share the page. We're on Facebook at Illinois Family Wellness. So we do try to keep that updated as well. And then if you just have announcements and things like that, you can always send them to me. I'll drop my email in the chat box. So when we send out our monthly meeting notices, if we have your information, we'll put that in there as well. When this meeting ends, you will get a quick survey. We definitely want your feedback on topics and things that'll make this monthly meeting more engaging for you. The other announcements that I have, let me see, are The Disability Pride Parade is going to be on July the 20th. We will be supporting Kristen. We'll be walking with her. There's a link on our website, www.familycope.org, that you can sign up to walk with us or also purchase a t-shirt. The Kenna Foundation is hosting a summer camp between July 8th and 12th. And then we also have one of our partners, which is River Edge Hospital, has a variety of services. Specifically, summer and being out of school for kids can be a very stressful time because of routines being broken. And just, we're just in an environment where summer just brings a lot of other issues. So please don't hesitate to reach out to River Edge. They have not only the in-person inpatient services, but they also offer a variety of groups and resources for adults and youth to help address any mental health issues. I would also like to share that Aerostars Avion Institute is actually hosting a summer camp program over at Olive Harvey College this summer. It is from July 1st through August the 8th. They have a special program for 5th through 8th graders. It's really a great program. I've been following them for a while. I've even taken my grandkids to some of the stuff they have on 31st at the college down there. So please share that information. Also, again, my email address is on here. If you have announcements, if you have a flyer, please send them as a picture format, either a JPEG or a PNG, and we will do our best to not only share them to the LAN 53 listserv, but also to the listserv that we have for National Provider Network, which should include all of you, as well as a number of schools throughout the state are on that listserv and receive the information about the resources and services that everyone offers. I'm also going to be dropping a couple of links in the chat box. We're looking for parents to join our Building Stronger Connections committee. It's a planning team to look at strengthening family-run organizations, which Family to Family is a family-run organization in the state. And we're also interested in collaborating with some of you all to really shape the direction of this network, especially as it pertains to our work specifically around LAN 53, which covers Bloom, Bremen, Rich, and Thornton townships. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either Suzette or myself, and we will be more than happy to try to answer those questions. But in the meantime, as I said, please make sure you visit our website. You can sign up for our email list. I know Suzette does a really good job of making sure that she's reaching out to people. We're kind of following up with folks that we're meeting at these events. But if you can go to the website and sign up for the email list, that kind of helps me make sure that everybody's getting the meeting notices and that we have your information to share any updates and announcements. And so that is all that I have. And I will turn the floor back over to our hostess with the mostest, Miss Suzette.
Okay, so
and thank you so much, Marjorie. I love your presentation.
Yeah, it was great. It was.
Yes.
We tried to get her last year, but that's okay. We got her this year.
Right. And I just thank you so much for this opportunity. You already know I love you all. I love the energy here. And I'm looking forward to more partnerships and ways that we can support one another. And I just wanted to just say that I've got to run off right now.
Right.
Blessings to everybody. Happy Juneteenth.
All right. Thank you, Marjorie. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions before we let you go for the day and get your day going?
Yes. Tanya asked me if I could share that first slide again. Is this the one you were talking about?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
No problem. My pleasure.
Okay, look at this, 5 minutes ahead of time. Look. I want to thank everybody for staying because we clocked in at 17 and everybody stayed. So thank you so very much. And Saul, thank you for coming, darling. Happy to have you here. Everyone else, you know, I love y'all. And you know what? I don't have anything else, but we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Suzette.
All right. Have a
Thanks,
great day.
everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.